Hello, today I'll be responding to the question about Erikson's industry versus inferiority stage in middle childhood and whether my early school experiences predicted my path toward college. So Erikson believed that from ages 6 to 12, children are in a psychosocial stage called industry versus inferiority. During this stage, kids begin to evaluate their competence, especially through school and peer comparison. Success in this stage leads to industry, which is a sense of capability and confidence, while failure leads to inferiority, or a belief that one is inadequate and incapable of meeting goals. Erikson emphasized that cultural definitions of success, such as academic achievement, shape how children see themselves. So my experience with this, I felt inferior despite having a lot of success in school. So from a young age, I felt like I had to prove my worth through academic achievement, because in my family, especially on my mom's side, they placed enormous emphasis on education and college as the number one goal in life. And that was mainly because my grandparents, so my mom's parents, they were immigrants from Ireland, so they didn't have as many opportunities as we did. So all of their kids, they went to, even though they didn't have a ton of money, they went to private school and stuff like that, just so that they could have that good education. So I felt a lot of pressure to succeed because I didn't want to fail them or tarnish the family name or whatever. So essentially, I internalized the belief that my value only came from being the smart one or the overachiever. So even though I would get A's, if it wasn't 100%, I would beat myself up over it. And it was awful. So even though I was excelling academically, I did not feel proud. Instead, I felt pressure. So even if I didn't get the highest grade, I felt worthless. So at home, I played the role of the parentified child, mature, independent, and self-sufficient, much earlier than I should have been. My chronic illness and other family dysfunction that I kind of mentioned, but also a little bit more, forced me to grow up fast. So I didn't really feel seen as a child. I felt more like a machine that was built to succeed, especially in academics, rather than a human being with value outside of grades or responsibilities. So did elementary school predict college for me? Technically, yeah. I always knew I'd go to college because in my family, not going was never an option. But emotionally, that's a bit more complicated. So instead of feeling inspired by my early successes, I felt haunted by the fear of failure. So Erikson would probably say that I was stuck somewhere between industry and inferiority, high performing, but deeply self-critical and afraid. Another factor that got me to college was my faith as a Christian. So when I finally realized that my value does not come from being perfect, but simply from being a child of God, I began to heal. I learned that my life has intrinsic value, even outside of academic success, and that revelation gave me strength to pursue college, not out of obligation or fear of judgment from my family, but as part of my mission to serve others as a nurse, as part of God's will for my life. So some final thoughts beyond the theory. I do believe Erikson was right. School does shape how we see ourselves, but personal healing, family dynamics, and also faith, especially in my case, also play huge roles. So now I don't chase success to prove I matter. I chase purpose because I already know I do. Yeah, that's it.